Excellent.
Recently, we just did the upgrade, so everything is cool.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's really no repairs that you can think of that need to be completed.
All
You
have been done already.
excellent. So you remodeled it. That's great. Okay. So I'm assuming you remodeled the roof and the heating and air as well. Did you touch the guts of the house?
Oh, that has been already done before recently, so we
Okay.
just didn't do it on this one, but they should be okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's excellent. So, Diego, when you bought this as an investment property, did you buy it and put a mortgage on it, or did you buy the property cash and pay it off?
Cash, I always do cash.
Excellent. Okay. Great. Um, and let me ask you this then, Diego, because this would help me kind of determine if we can serve you better. Do you need to take the cash out now, or could you take payments over time?
I prefer cash if you
Okay.
can pay me cash, right?
Sure.
That will put me more, make me put you on the first of the list, right? Because same way I move with cash, I need to be receiving cash then, right? So
Great.
I can get a better property to invest in.
Absolutely. Hey, I totally get that. Cash is king. So, um, Diego, let me see here. What time frame are you on? I mean, is this something that you need to do as soon as possible, or are you on a time restriction?
Well, time is making me lose money, but of course I'm not gonna be reducing the earnings of it, right? So
Sure.
I'm gonna sell it for what I need, or I will wait and anyway sell it
Okay.
for the right price later.
Gotcha. Okay. And Diego, what do you think the home is worth right now?
It's worth $800,000.
Okay. And let me ask you this then, Diego. If we gave you cash, let's say I wrote you an offer and we close in just a couple of weeks, we didn't ask for any repairs, nothing else, what would you take for the property?
$800,000.
Okay. There's no room there?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we can put more if you wish.
Got Gotcha. So you won't sell for
And
700 if we closed
it's gonna
tomorrow.
be including all the paperwork. We already have who we work with, so they will be doing all the paperwork. You just need to bring the money, and we take care of everything.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. If you don't mind, Diego, I'd like to just take a minute and explain what we do and how we can help you.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So you found me online, and you found me as an investor, and that's essentially what we do. So I'm an investor, and I have a real estate um, partner that is also a real estate investor, and we have a whole group that we're partnered with. Now, because we're tied into all the local real estate investment groups here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a lot of those channels point back to us, right? So you found us on a fast offer or a cash offer type scenario, and we can definitely transfer the property like that. Now, because we do transfer so much property in Georgia, or excuse me, in Oklahoma, the state does really prefer us to be licensed. So my business partner, she has her broker's license with Keller Williams Realty. She's hung it there for dozens of years, and she has sold, together as a team, we sell hundreds of properties a year. But most of the time, we transfer property directly from the owner to another end user. Sometimes we do it more traditionally. Each situation, honestly, is different, and every person that sells the house, they're in a different situation. So, what we try to do is find the right solution for you and what you and your investment criteria you need to accomplish for that property. So, we're very interested in the house, Diego. This is what we do every day. Next step for us to see how we can help you is for us to see it. So, what's your schedule look like in the next few days? Are you available on Friday in the morning or the afternoon?
Friday on the afternoon will be okay.
Excellent.
Although we already have our team of lawyers that will do the process and everything. We don't really need uh, an agent involved on this since it's a direct deal, right? That we're gonna have.
Sure.
You're gonna be the one purchasing it then, right?
Yeah, we definitely need to talk about that. What time on Friday is a good time for you to sit down and go over how we can help each other?
Well, 3 or 4 will be okay on my schedule.
Okay,
What do
let's
you
go
say?
ahead and that's perfect. Let's go ahead and do 3 p.m., Diego. And what I'll do is either myself or my business partner Jim will meet you at the property. Just give us a quick tour, real quick, when we get there. And then after that, we can get a good idea of what the inside looks like, get a feel for all the upgrades you've done to the property, and we can talk about how we can help you and what solution is right, and then we can talk numbers. So, Diego, before you go real quick, I got you on the calendar for 3. Is this a good contact number to get back with you if we need to change it for any reason?
Yes, you can leave me a voicemail.
Okay.
And well, anyways, we have the office phone number, which is 918-2004-390,
Okay.
and you can talk there to my assistant, Maria.
Okay. Sure. And
Yeah, she will let you know about my schedule or anything,
sure.
because I will tell her already that we're gonna have that
Perfect.
meeting.
That sounds good. Okay. And what I'll do too then, Diego, my name is Jim, and then my business partner, her name is Jen. So what I'll do is I'll shoot you an email so you have our contact information as well. If I didn't get to introduce myself previously, I'll shoot that on over to you as soon as we hang up. The email I have on file is homeseller123 at gmail.com. Is that a good one to send my contact info to?
Yes, that's the correct one.
Excellent. Well, that sounds good. All right, Diego. Well, I appreciate your time. And again, you're going to probably end up meeting my business partner, myself, Friday at 3 p.m. at the property.
Okay,
All right.
sounds like a deal.
Excellent, Diego. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
All
Take
right.
care.
Click. Cool. See how that one flows? You brought up some stuff.
Objections?
Yeah. Don't care. When's a good time to meet? I got an attorney who's going to do it. That's great. When do you want to meet? I want 800,000. Okay. When do you want to meet? You guys get the theme? Set the appointment. I don't care about that. It's not your job to talk about how it's going to transfer and what the price is and this and that. Set the appointment and I will handle it. Jen will handle it. We are licensed to do this. We've been doing this shit for years and years. I've heard it and seen it all. There's nothing that person's going to tell me when I get there that's going to go, oh my God, I've never heard that before. We've crafted this stuff to get around it. Oh, great, I have my whole team and we already have the paperwork. That's great. When's a good time to meet? Are you going to buy it? When's a good time to meet? Don't know. Need to see it. Just simple stuff. So we tend to talk too much. We want to go
Okay,
into the
but the
situation.
thing is, for example, they were telling you that they didn't want an agent for that process.
No one wants an agent. In fact, the reason why they're reaching out to us on these types of lead sources, they don't want to talk to a real estate agent. That's cool. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm a solutions provider. If being a real estate agent is what you need after I meet with you and figure out what the hell you're trying to do, that's cool. If not, that's also cool. I don't want to work with you. You're crazy. Once we sit down and I show you that I'm not like typical realtors, the reason why you don't want to work with a real estate agent is because your perception is that we're idiots and lazy. When you meet with me, it's a very different perception because I am better than most other agents because we sell 800 times more percentage wise than the average top 20% agent. You need to meet with me because this is the shit I do every day and you don't. I'm not going to
Okay,
go run into court and represent myself because I watched Good Will Hunting and read a law book. No. I'm going to go get the best attorney I can possibly find because it's a sure thing, because they usually know what they're talking about and they do it over and over and over and over again. I'm not trying to deal with his objection right now. I don't care. And when we qualify the appointment, Diego, I'll pick up on that.
although we do leave as most notes from his objections as possible, so you are aware.
Exactly. Mentioned he had an attorney team, didn't want to use an agent. That's cool. We might not use an agent. I mean, if he's got a super deal, we might not list the property. It depends. It's not my way to say right now. I don't have enough information. I haven't seen the house. I haven't talked to you. I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what you're trying to do. I don't know how much time you need. None of that
Oh,
has
Jim,
been. Yeah.
Sorry, also another thing before I forget, and kind of comes back to the previous theme, always that how on which um, properties you will be interested, for example, because I had one call that finally they answered today,
Okay.
and it was just a lot. Actually, I want to buy the lot because it's cheaper than what it is here.
Oh, really?
So that, well, there were actually two lots after she explained to me, and they were $7,000.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Is Yeah, but I mean, how much will the earnings be as well? I mean, if just the price itself is just $7,000, right? So, um, I just took the information on the call because I do think that I got her to say that she has a house actually, but I will check on the notes. So I can do a follow up on her with that other house.
Yeah.
But for the lot, for example, do you think is something that we should do also a follow up with her
Yeah.
for
Absolutely.
7,000?
Yeah. Because let's say we list that lot, Diego, like we agree to work with that seller. And I don't know what that commission's going to look like. It might be,
100.
low percent, like a very low percentage. But we might not need to list it. Jen might know a builder who's looking for property. Then she can sell that lot to the builder. The builder might pay her a premium. Then she can list the property for the builder, sell the property for the builder, then also go find that guy a property. Who knows? So,
Mhm.
right, I mean, basically, as long as it's not a mobile home, a modular home, or a manufactured home, if it's an opportunity to go help somebody, set an appointment. Always.
Okay.
Even if you're kind of like, I don't know, go ahead and set it and just make the notes like, hey, Jen, it sounds like it's two lots. She mentioned something about another house, but there was a motivation and her time frame is 90 days. Boom, that's all you need to set the appointment. It is real estate. What Jen decide or the agent decide or whoever the person who's going to the appointment decide and the quality of how they want to tackle that. So we don't turn down anything though, Diego, just because let's say it's $7,000, right? It might be extremely important that this person sell that land in 30 days because they have a family issue and they need money. So they'll take 2,000 if you can get it in 30 days. Well, that's great. Our commission might be $5,000. And we make a couple phone calls, get under contract immediately, close in the next week, and boom, that was the easiest show up, get it done, no questions asked type thing. You never know. Every person's situation is different. What we don't do is take advantage of people. We don't do anything that's unethical. We don't try to do anything that's not legal. Our goal is to figure out what you're trying to do as a seller, right? And so these leads are different. The reason that they're on a Z buyer or a fast offer or make me an offer, give me a cash offer, close in 30 days, a quick sale type website, which is what these leads are coming from, is because they're usually in a motivated scenario. So that's a great thing that we're looking for, motivation. These people want to sell fast. That's great. The terms of what needs to happen, not your responsibility. Let us figure it out because that's where the high level agent thought has to go into it, whether we're going to be an agent, whether we're going to wholesale it, whether we're going to buy it from them, whether we have a buyer who's perfect for this property, whether we're going to list it on the MLS. All those things I have no idea because this person's situation is unknown and I haven't seen the house. So, but if they have a motivation and you know their time frame, boom, you've done your job. And if you set the appointment, there you go. You're halfway through the battle. The next part is getting it qualified and then figuring out if we can help them. If you set a qualified appointment, but the agent doesn't get the deal because we go on the appointment and that seller's not realistic or the home is just horrible or they're a crazy person or they're mean or whatever it might be that it just doesn't happen, that's not your fault. you set a quality appointment that had gotten a motivated seller on a time frame. So you've done your job, Diego, and that's as far as I would consider it. That's your responsibility. The agent's responsibility is to close the deal, right? And that's how we work as a unit and a team to say, Jim, this guy needs to sell his house. He's super motivated. Here's all the notes you need. Uh, he said he wants to do it in 30 days. He wasn't too happy about an agent, but he's motivated and here's his time frame. Great, let me knock it out of the park. Let me talk to this guy. I might convert him. And if and when we do, we don't get everybody. It's impossible. And so like what we use is we use the saying, some will, some won't, so what? It's a numbers game, right? Just like sales. There's no salesperson that converts at 100%.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
but good
But
point
maybe
though.
99.99.
Exactly, right? But if we're setting quality appointments, it should be a very high percentage. So that's what your job is to do, is to set the opportunity to meet with people who are very motivated, who have equity and can make this happen. Because who knows? That guy doesn't want to work with an agent. That's cool. If he's really adamant about it, but we can sell it in another way, that's cool. Let me figure out how to do it. And that's a client, nonetheless. Whether we list it or not is irrelevant. It's what's best for what they're trying to do. Now, if we're calling for sale by owners and expireds, yeah, I'm going to probably list that home because the reason it expired is they're off on price or the condition is not good or their agent didn't know what they were doing, or all three, or a combo of that. If it's a for sale by owner, you're dealing with someone who maybe doesn't have a lot of money, maybe doesn't have a lot of equity, maybe thinks they have a lot of knowledge, or whatever the situation might be. So, with these leads, though, guys, their situations are all over the place. You might have someone who's like, oh, my family member passed away. My brother and I need money like ASAP. He just went through a divorce. He's broke. I need to get money out here as soon as possible. I don't even care what it sells for. I need to sell it next week. Great. Okay. How much were you looking to get? And then we can have that conversation and say, I can sell it fast. I can buy it from you. We can list it. We can wholesale it. We can rent it. We can, seller finance it. We can do all these different things. But I can't do anything unless I'm meeting with qualified sellers. And that's what you guys need to be doing is putting us in front of qualified sellers so we have the highest percentage of closing them. Not shaky people who we show up and it's like, well, I thought you were going to bring a buyer. Well, shoot. you know, that's a tough one to get around because we're not off to a good start. So, does that make sense? Does that kind of help get around
Sure.
some of those pitfalls you guys might have on the phone? Um, Hopefully that's beneficial and you can kind of take that and apply it in the phone calls.
Hi, is this Jim?
Yeah, this is Jim.
Hi, Jim. You were on one of our websites about your home on 123 Southeast Avenue.
Uh-huh.
So you need to get your home sold, right?
Well, we're thinking about it. Yeah.
Great. What can you tell me then? Are you relocating or what's your situation?
Uh, well, this is actually, we're going, went through a divorce and, I mean, I don't know. We were gonna try to see if we can sell it and, pretty much, this was a home that my wife and I lived in for years and years. We're separated and, I just don't even want to be there anymore. It's bad, the emotional attachment. I need to get out of here.
Okay, I understand that, Jim. Definitely, and I hope everything goes for the best from now on. And actually, to help you more on that matter, can you tell me more about your house? Bedrooms, bathrooms, and things like that, so I can have a clear picture on what we're talking about and see how I can help you.
Yeah, it's a 4 bedroom split level home. It's got 2.5 baths. It's on an acre. It's in the Walton High School District, so that's where my kids went. It's the best school district in the county. Um, it's a somewhat older house. I believe it was built in the early 90s, so uh, we haven't been able to do work on the home. I've been with the personal things happening and the divorce, and my ex-wife has custody of the kids, and I had custody of the kids, and the house just kind of fell apart in disrepair. So yeah, but that's it. It's about 2,800 square feet. Um, Press board siding, good sized deck, fenced in backyard. We had dogs. Uh,
Okay, I see, Jim. Actually, for what you're telling me, you actually will be looking to keep on the same neighborhood, right? Because of the school, so you can keep close to your kids,
no,
correct?
no. I mean, I'm already in an apartment, and I moved. Uh, we all moved. My wife moved on from the house. She's got the kids, and she's in a different state, and my work relocated me, so the home is just sitting there, and I gotta basically sell it and split the profits at this point. But um, I just don't have
Okay,
time to deal with the house. I gotta go to work and stuff. It's just sitting there.
of course, I understand that as well, Jim, and we can help you on that matter, actually. Um, Before we continue, just to clarify another point, you did mention that the property is a little bit old already from the 19th, right? And it might need already some repairs. What repairs exactly do you need? Do you think it needs to be completed?
Did you say the 19s?
Yes,
Oh, the early 90s? Yeah, the
90s.
house
Yeah.
is over 25 years. It's got the original roof, so there's no leaks or anything, but the roof is 25 years old. Uh,
So there are no leaks, but of course the life of the roof is already
yeah,
expired, right? So we will need to check it. Okay.
yeah, you're gonna.
And the floor, the walls.
Yeah, I mean, we lived in the house, so it needs touch up on the inside. I'd probably say you'd have to, paint it. It's got hardwood floors on the first floor, and then carpet's fairly new upstairs. You might need to, clean it, or I don't know if you or the buyer or whatever who's gonna buy it's gonna need to replace it, but it's not in bad shape. And the other house is hardwoods, so maybe just paint, new roof.
Okay. And what about the heating and air on the house?
It's good. It's functional. We had it replaced 7 years ago, about 7 years ago, so it's working, and we got a warranty on it still.
Okay, good. And talking about another topic here, are you carrying a mortgage or is it already paid off?
Uh, we're carrying a mortgage.
Okay. Mortgage, right?
Yeah, we're carrying a mortgage.
Okay, so what is the payoff?
Uh, I'm not really sure what the payoff is. Um, I know I can call the bank and get that number, but
Okay, yeah, we will need to verify that just to see the deal that we can make or how we can help you according to how much of the property you owe, right? And are you current on your payments?
yeah, we're current. I've never missed a payment.
Okay, let's see, Jim. So, what type of time frame are you on? Is something you need to do in the next month to sell your property, or do you have a couple of months down the road? I will understand that it needs to be done right now, correct?
Well, I mean, yeah, I want to sell it as fast as possible. because I just don't have the time to deal with the property, and this is definitely a headache. And my ex-wife, she's not on the title or anything, or the mortgage is in my name, but she's pressuring me to get the money because she wants the money and yada yada. So, but I'm not like in a tough financial situation. I don't have to sell it, but I would certainly like to. If you can make me an offer, well, I like to sell it.
Well,
You know,
sure. I mean, we can talk about that after we visit and see the property. But what do you think it is worth?
uh, I'm not really sure, honestly. I don't know.
Well, we can also help you and do a valuation on the property to see how much it should be on the market. And if we give you cash and close in just a few weeks, no repairs, nothing else, what will you take?
Oh man, I haven't thought about that. I mean, I guess I'll have to figure out the payoff. I mean, I think it's like 245, so I'd like to make a little bit of money on the property, probably 270. If I don't have to pay, an agent or whatever, which is why I came on here, it said you can make a fast offer. So, if I can get, 270 close quickly and not have to list it, I'd probably take that.
Good, okay. I can take note of that. And Jim, since you're talking about the fast offer as well, do you have to have the cash now, or will you take payments over time?
No, I'd rather just sell it. I don't, I don't really understand the payments over time
Well,
thing.
I can surely explain you the payment over time option when we're face to face.
Okay.
But why do you need to have the cash now? Because of the divorce?
Yeah, I gotta pay my wife. Jesus, I just want to get out of this place.
Okay, so I understand you're already out of the place, right? So the
Yeah, but she's not out of my
apartment.
life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jim, I would like to ask you for your permission to briefly explain how I work and how I can help you.
Okay.
Great. So I am an investor and I also find homes for other investors we're partnered with. We are tied into all of the local real estate investing groups here in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Since we transfer so much real estate in Oklahoma, the state really prefers us to be licensed. My business partner has her broker's license with Keller Williams,
Uh huh.
has been there for 10 years already, and has helped over thousands of families transfer their properties. Most of the time, we transfer property directly from the owner to the investor, but sometimes it makes sense to do it in a more traditional method.
Okay.
Every situation is different, and what is important is that we find the right solution for you.
Uh huh.
What is the best? What is best for you, and what you want to accomplish is most. Wait.
That was right.
Okay. What is best for you and what you want to accomplish is most important. It doesn't have sense for me that phrase, but okay. That's how you say it in English. So okay. We're very interested in your house. Is it exactly what we do? It is exactly what we do every day. Next step is for us to see it. Am I missing here for you to answer something?
Huh?
Am I missing here for you to answer something, or I'm
No.
just supposed to keep reading? No. Okay.
You bring it on. Read the script.
Okay. So next step is for us to see it. So how is your schedule in the next few days, Jim?
uh. Okay. I have work on off on work from Wednesdays. Get off at 12, so maybe like 2 p.m. on Wednesdays would be good.
2 p.m. on Wednesday. Sure. We'll make a note of that and see if either me or my partner Jen will meet you at the
Do
property
you
then.
do you work on Sundays or do you work the weekends?
Well, we sure will for you to help you. Well, okay, so how do I respond that? I don't
Good
know if Jen works on Sundays actually.
good question. So assume that we
I know
don't.
that you don't, so
Yeah,
but I do.
always So that's a good question. Reason I threw it out there is I knew you probably weren't responding because we don't have a script for it quite yet. But basically, this is the way to respond to that, though, Diego. If someone says, especially too, if any appointment is going outside of Monday to Friday from 9 to 5,
Hmm.
try not to set it right then and there. Try to set it always for normal business hours during the week. Um, and the reason that we're going to do that is you're going to have access to the agent's calendar, right? Which is what you don't have right now, so it's kind of hard. But you'll have the spots open where it says listing appointment, right? And then you'll actually have a little bit of a buffer for drive time. So those are your times that you want to set it for during the week. Now, to handle that situation, if they say, well, do you work during the weekend? Again, best way to answer a question is with the question in sales, right? So, well, that's a great. I mean, do you need to meet on the weekend? Well, it depends. Okay, well, do you have any free time? Monday through Friday between 9 and 5. I mean, looks like we have an availability open. Either myself or Jen can come out. It looks like Thursday at 3 p.m. would work. Is that convenient for you? Well, Friday might be better, or Saturday or Sunday. Could we do it on Saturday? Well, we certainly want to accommodate you, Jim, and honestly, we try to keep traditional hours because we also enjoy being with our family and friends as well. So, um, could you do it on Friday? We definitely have an opening on Friday. Otherwise, I'll have to check to see if the weekend, if we can cancel some family plans and squeeze you in on the weekend. We certainly want to accommodate you though. So, is Friday a good time at 3? Yeah, yeah, that's fine. We can do Friday then. That's okay. Okay, great. Yeah, I'll just leave work early. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead and do that, Jim. Try to get him off of it. And if you don't know how to ever directly answer a question, then don't. Are you going to buy my house? It's a great question. We need to see it. That depends. Are you going to allow me to buy it? Well, I don't know. Great. We need to talk about that. Don't try to. This is the toughest part, really, about being in that overcoming objections is our first instinct is to want to answer the question, right? And
Correct.
the first thing, right, and that kind of makes you stumble. Okay, yes or no, but I don't want to say that. So then your mind starts trying to go to work. So try to start conditioning yourself. Anybody asks you a question or a direct question, especially, do you work on the weekend? Well, we could work on the weekend, but I don't know if Jen's calendar is like that, and I don't really know. Did the agent want me to work on the weekend? All these questions pop up versus, well, sure. I mean, we definitely want to accommodate you. Is there a time that you can do it during the week? Right? Agree.
No, I only have the weekends.
Okay, got you. Um, do you have any time during the evening, during the weekdays
Sure, at 9
at 9 p.m.? Okay. Well, Diego, what's your work schedule like? What are your days off
on the weekend.
on the weekend? Okay. Um, so you don't have any time during the week to meet up then?
No, between my personal business and my current job, I get home at 9.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I can certainly appreciate that's a long week. So, let me do this. I mean, we typically try not to work on the weekends because just like you, our work day is the weekdays. Um, so let me check to see if we don't have any family or friends kind of planned for the weekend. But let's just assume that that's good. What day is better for you? Is Saturday better? Would that work? Like in the mid
Yeah,
morning,
Saturday
midday?
afternoon, so I have time to sleep
Gotcha.
in between.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this then, Diego. We'll set it for how does 2 p.m. on Saturday sound?
That's good. You're
Okay.
bringing lunch?
Well, are you cooking?
No, I don't cook either.
You don't cook?
No,
How does a guy eat at 9 p.m.?
I always have pizza.
You're like the Ninja Turtles, and you're always eating pizza. Okay. Well, how about this? You bring the pepperoni, I'll bring the marketing information, and we'll meet at 2 p.m. on Saturday.
Okay, sounds like a deal.
Alrighty. All right, Diego. Well, I'll see you Saturday at 2, and I'll just call you Friday afternoon or Friday morning to verify that that works for you because I just want to make sure that we don't have any plans elsewhere on the weekend. But I definitely want to accommodate you because this is what we do every day. So I will plan on seeing you at 2, and then if I catch you at work, I'll just leave a message and just make sure that's still good. So just give me a holler if it doesn't. And I'll shoot you over an email as soon as we hang up with our contact info. So if anything pops up for you between now and then, just let us know. Is that cool?
Sure, we'll send you an email if something happens.
Sounds good. All right, Diego. Well, enjoy your pizza, and I'll see you Saturday at 2.
Okay, nice meeting you. Take care.
All right, bye-bye. So there you go. Ask him questions. You don't work on the weekend? Do you?
Yeah,
I mean, literally, just anytime someone asks you a question. Now, I don't recommend doing this in your personal relationships. If your wife or spouse asks you a question, you at some point you need to answer it, right? but but keep in mind too. I mean, just generally as you're going through these scripts and you're talking with people, always keep in mind the person asking the questions is controlling the conversation. That's just how it always works. So if you want to resume being back in the driver's seat, ask a question. And even if you answer it directly, before you shut your mouth, you need to have the answer and a question,
well,
right?
I didn't know until now that you opened my mind or my eyes
Yeah.
that that's actually how she works. You know,
All
she just answers me with another question.
right. She's got so Diego. So we need to hire your spouse. get her, get her on the phone.
Yeah,
But
that's right. That's why I never get answers. I
yeah,
didn't know.
exactly. Yeah, but you know what the funny thing is?
Hmm.
Even if you ask the questions, most people already know the answers, right? You typically know the answer to whatever you're asking. Most of the time, I mean, very rarely do you need someone else to provide the answer. What you need is someone to guide you to the best answer for you. That is what we're trying to do. So we're not trying to manipulate people. We just know better. We know that the person asking the questions is in control of the conversation. So we're here to help you, not answer your questions. I'll help you by helping yourself find the correct answers and the correct person to sell your property. That is our position. That's what we're trying to do with these people. So, are you going to buy my house? That's a great question. In fact, I don't know until we see it. Would you buy something if you didn't see it? Well, yeah, exactly. We need to see what you did inside. You might have the Taj Mahal on the inside and it's worth more than I can find online, or you might have a ton of repairs that need to be addressed. And I don't know until I see your property. So, to answer your question, Mr. Seller, I'm not sure. But what we definitely need to do is meet, and I'll explain to you the different ways we work, and then we can talk price and see if those match up. So, when's a good time for us to meet? Is tomorrow at 4 p.m. good for you? Uh, yes, it is. Great. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. So, you don't answer the question if it doesn't suit the solution you want. Or if you're not asking the questions, you're certainly not setting the appointments. Because to set the appointment, when is a good time to meet with me? That's a question. When's a good time to hire the right agent for the job to sell your property? That's a question. Or is your home up for sale? Are you incentivized? What would incentivize you? What price do you want? Are you serious? Do you have a mortgage? All these, we're asking the questions. So we're guiding the end result to set the appointment. That's why if we're talking too much, the space that we're supposed to be filling in the conversation by asking the questions, we're eating it all up by just blah, 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 blah talking. They don't care about the process. If you're trying to sell me a car, I don't care what you're going to go talk to your manager about and your bottom line, and this is the paperwork we need to fill. can I get this price for the car that I want? That's really all I care about. It's the same thing with sellers. Can you sell my home or buy my home? That's a great question. We need to talk about that. When is a good time for us to meet to talk about that? Not going to reduce my commission. Cool. When's a good time for us to talk about that? Are you going to
And
buy
if
it?
they tell you that you have the information online and all that, you still need to see it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And, well, can't you look that up online? That's a great question. I certainly can, but I truly won't know until I see the value of the property in person. You might have the Taj Mahal on the inside, and it's worth more than I can quantify online, or you might have a ton of repairs that need to be addressed, and I need to see that in person regardless. So, Mr. Seller, you
Jim,
said,
what's the number? What would be the number one thing that brings the value down on a house? The repairs.
yeah, condition. Yep. And that's typically, I mean, price, location, and condition. That's what sells homes, right? Marketing and how that property is presented is that additional fourth factor. Well, we can change that, right? Because you can change your agent, how you're marketing, what you're saying in your marketing message. You can't change location. That home is sitting there, unless it's a mobile home, and we don't fiddle with those anyway. So the location's already factored into where it is anyway. But the price and the condition, those are the two reasons why most of these houses don't sell. And with these types of seller leads with Z buyers and any type of fast offer or cash offer, it's usually because they're super motivated. Like something happened where maybe there was a death in the family, or there's a job loss, or they need money, or it's an investor trying to pull the money out as fast as possible. So there's a situation that highly motivates them, or it's because the home needs a lot of work and they're trying to just, not have to do the work themselves and get someone to pay cash who will do the work. That's really where those leads are coming from. That's typically their mindset. So if you know that off the bat, the biggest objection you're going to hear is, are you going to buy it? Are you going to pay cash? Are you going to get what I want to do from it? That all depends. And so if they say, can't you look up the value of my house? Or why haven't you looked it up online? Or what do you think my home is worth? Are you going to buy my home? Are you going to write me an offer? Can you give me an offer right now on the phone? Do you need to see the house? Can't you find it online? All of those. That's a great question. I don't know until I see it. You could have the Taj Mahal on the inside and it's worth more than I can find online, or you might have a ton of repairs that need to be addressed and it's worth less. So, when is a good time for us to go see the home in person, talk about the different solutions we can have to help you get it sold, and then we can talk some numbers? Is tomorrow at 4 p.m. a good time? Boom, set the appointment.
And if they tell you that, I mean, you have enough information online, so if you do have a potential buyer interested on what it shows there, then you can go so you can view the property, but with the buyer already.
Let me ask you, Diego, what specifically do you think is beneficial in doing that? Because let's say that I asked you that question. Would you ever go to a house and write an offer on something you didn't see without trying to take advantage of you? Would you trust that person? Let's say I wrote you an offer. Do you think it's going to be a fair market value offer, or probably more than you can get if I saw the home?
It could be.
Right. So listen, I do this every day. The people who write you blind offers and they don't see the property, guess what they're going to do? They're going to lowball you or take advantage of you. So let me ask you this, Mr. Seller. I understand you probably want me to just go take a look at it because you're sick of getting phone calls. Here's my question. Do you need to get your home sold?
Yes.
Okay, great. When's a good time for us to meet and I can show you exactly how to do that?
I already know how to do that. Listing it online.
Okay, great. When's the time that we can sit down and show you how you're going to list with me?
Today, if you come in the next 30 minutes.
Great. I'm booked up for today. I'll come tomorrow at 4.
Okay, I'll be here.
All right, great. Don't, if people push, push back.
Would
That's
that
my,
count as an
what's that?
would that count as an appointment?
Yeah.
Would that count as an appointment?
Am I going to call to
Okay.
confirm that? Absolutely. Am I probably going to work with a dirt wad? No. As Ben Kenny says, if he's a dirt wad on the phone, he's probably going to be a dirt wad when we deal with him. So that's probably not going to be an easy convert. Or let's say that you guys talk to let's say that this conversation happens, because this is very real that this might happen. You get a wholesaler on the phone. Wholesalers move very, very quickly. Here's the deal. They're not going to list the home. So don't send us on those appointments. Change that category to investor and move on. If you have a wholesaler that says, yes, I'm willing to sell, here's the property, do you have a buyer? I might, I got to see the property. Great, well, you can come take a look tomorrow, 4 p.m., that's great. Don't set that appointment. Just say, hey, listen, here's the deal. Let me go pull up some information online real quick before we head out. You said you're a wholesaler, right? Yeah, we need to get it sold. Okay. How long is your contract to get the property wholesaled?
What is a wholesaler?
So good question. A wholesaler is someone who is an investor who basically is already working directly with the seller. And what they're doing is, let's say the home was worth $100,000. A wholesaler is meeting that seller and saying, I will give you $50,000 for the home and I'll get it sold next week. They're going to write the seller an offer for $50,000. Now, if the seller says, that's okay, I'm desperate, I need to close next week, great, the wholesaler just identified a deal. What they're going to do, though, is even though the wholesaler wrote them an offer to purchase the home, they're not going to buy it. They are going to take that offer, and let's say they have an agreement with the seller now for $50,000, right? Home's worth $100,000. So there's quite a bit of money to be made in that middle. What they're going to do is they're either going to assign the contract to another party, or they're going to wholesale it. So the term wholesaling is they're going to pick a fee, and based on the profit and the time frame, they're going to pick a number in between the agreement. So let's say it's $50,000 between them and the seller. They might wholesale the property for $60,000 to another investor, and they have a certain amount of time to do that. If they don't find someone to wholesale the property to, it falls apart. So,
But they already gave the seller 500, right?
or 50,000,
50,000, yeah.
they wrote him an offer. Now,
They haven't given them anything.
no, the closing date is in the future, right? It's not that same day. And the way that offer is written, the wholesaler is going to protect themselves. So they might have a certain amount of time to go find someone else. And what we typically do is we write that as like a due diligence period. What that means is there's a certain amount, let's say it's 10 days. So he might have, the wholesaler, he or she might have 10 days to back out of that contract. So they have to work very quickly. Guess what? We're not trying to deal with those people at all. Now, if we meet with the buyer and that deal is great and there's a ton of room, I might be the wholesaler. I might say, great, here's an offer for $50,000. Then I go call all of my investors and go, here's a deal for $60,000. And they go, great, it's worth $100,000. Thanks for the $40,000 in equity. And I go, no problem. I just made $10,000 by wholesaling that property to someone else. It's a very sophisticated way of doing it. That's a simple explanation of what actually happens. Investors.
Okay, so at the end, what does the seller earn? If the property was 100, and you promise him for 50 to begin with.
Yeah.
And you sold it for 60 to another investor. What is the seller getting?
50.
Oh.
I wrote you for 50. Yeah.
50 or nothing, because if it didn't work for you, then you don't pay him anything.
Correct. Right. Now, We don't really care though because we have the wholesaler's information. We don't have the seller's information.
Hmm.
And so what we do is in that case, don't set that appointment. We're not trying to fiddle with it. We're looking for listings. We're not trying to
But
buy
that's if they
properties.
tell you that they are, I forgot the name again, wholesalers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jim?
Yeah.
So if they don't tell you that they are all sellers, whatever sellers,
You'll figure it out. They have to tell you. I mean, that conversation, and I'll put some examples of how that works. But if they say, you know, certain things, I mean, you'll pick up on it basically where it's like, most of them actually come out and say, well, I'm wholesaling the property for 65,000. There's an ARV of 125. There's an acquisition cost of this and that. Don't worry about any of that terminology. As soon as you hear the word wholesale, bloop, investor. Don't set the appointment. Stick them in the investor category. Now, when we find a deal, so when we meet with the seller, they have a ridiculous deal. Their time is more important than money for them, and we can help them. If we're the wholesaler, I'm going to go call all those people that were identified by you guys, see if they'll buy it. Maybe they'll wholesale it. And then that'll count as a deal for you. So, but we're not going to go on that appointment because they're not the seller. Our job is to meet with motivated sellers with equity.
okay,
Cool?
gotcha.
If
Is there any other weird stuff, going around besides the wholesalers?
sometimes, but that's going to be basically the gist of it. Now, a great question to filter those people out is if you guys are on the phone and they say, oh, well, I'm selling it's an investment property. Okay, great. Are you on title? Are you the person selling the property? Do you own the home? Those are 3 questions that you can ask them that they have to answer. If they don't, then just keep rephrasing the question. Well, are you the seller on title or are you trying to wholesale this property? Oh, no, I'm wholesaling it. Okay. Oh, no, this is an investment.
Seller in title means the owner, or an agent will
Correct.
be a seller in title?
If it's an agent, if it's a real estate agent, it's the same thing. I mean, put them as archive. Because if they have a real estate license, they're going to probably list it by themselves.
Mhm.
And if they're not, change them to archive. And later down the road, I'll teach you guys to also ask agents for referrals and actually like a recruiting appointment, essentially.
Yeah, because right now we also hate agents.
We don't.
Right?
I always get agents asking me. I always get agents asking me for referrals.
Asking you for referrals?
When you're calling them, they end asking
Yeah.
you for referrals?
Yes.
Okay.
So what does that conversation go like, David? Role play that real quick.
Well, actually, like when they end up telling me that they're when I would say that we have people interested in the city, and then they end up telling me like yeah, I have a lot of houses down here. If you want, you can give me their numbers and their names, and we can you can give me referrals, and I can give you guys commissions for that.
Is that an investor or is that an agent who's saying that?
Agent.
Okay, it's an agent.
Yeah.
Okay. What you could say to that, David, is that's a great question. In fact, I'm just an assistant on the team. I can't answer that, but I'll definitely make note. And if that's the case, we'd be happy to get back to you. Is this a good number to reach you?
Jim, but that is valid, right? I mean, what they're saying. That's what I understood you that referral is. So, I mean, they're thinking that you are an agent. So if you refer your customer to them, then that will be the referral, right? So they're still going to be giving you a part of the commission, right?
Right. Is that your job to discuss that? Nope.
Of course. Oh, no. No, and I was just thinking that even the agents are better on his leads. I never had an agent telling me, it's for the referral. Well, you heard the lady that was that new Jen, right? She started like, um, why? How did you get the number? Why are you calling me? How do you? I actually think that she started talking more because she knew Jen, right? So she made sense, like she gave me the number or something. But otherwise, they are also like, don't. Today I had another agent, and I am an agent also. Please stop calling me.
Ah,
Don't call me again, right? They didn't say, oh, so maybe you have maybe you can do a referral. No, right?
yeah.
Then stop calling.
Well, here's how that
Uh,
goes, Diego. If you get someone
mhm,
who's like, I'm also an agent. I don't know if they're lying or telling the truth, but
mhm.
oh, well, I'm also an agent. Okay, great. Are you active? Yes, of course I'm active. Oh, great. What company are you with? I'm with uh
Okay.
Coldwell Banker. Oh, okay. So are you part-time or do you just full-time? Because we're usually familiar with some of the other agents in the market. Um, how long have you been with Coldwell Banker? I don't really want to talk to you anymore about it. Oh, okay. Well, I was just calling because we might actually have buyers that we can refer to you. Um, but are you sure you're not an agent then? Because if your intention, honestly, is to get the home sold, I totally get it. You probably don't want to talk to all the people calling you. But let me ask you this. I mean, do you need to still sell your house? Yes. Okay, great. When's a good time for us to meet?
Okay.
Set the appointment, let Jen call them back, and figure out if they truly are an agent. Or hang up, look up their number, send them over to Jen. Whatever it is, they might be lying to get you off the phone. If they truly are an agent,
Yeah.
we'll figure that out if they say it again when we call them back. But here's the other reason why we don't want to turn down agents sometimes. You guys don't know this quite yet, but if I was calling them, let's say I was doing my lead generation and they said, oh, well, I'm an agent, how'd you get my number or whatever, that conversation is, oh, okay, well, that's great. Well, Sally, who are you with and how long have you been with that company? With Remax, I've been there for 15 years. Oh, that's awesome, Sally. So, do you love your broker? Uh, yeah, we're very loyal. That's awesome. Well, Sally, let me ask you, you ever heard of the book The Millionaire Real Estate Agent? Yeah, of course. Um, I mean, do you feel like you own or operate a business, or how are things working for you? Oh, they're pretty good. Well, Sally, listen, let me ask you this. Um, I really like the way that you're handling yourself right now. You seem like you're a true professional. Would it be okay if I pass my your contact information on to my broker? Um, because you just did a really good job of handling this conversation. And we get a lot of agents on the phone, and you were just so polite about it. I really appreciate your professionalism. Would that be okay? And we might actually try to recruit that agent to our company.
Oh,
So
okay.
they might be a great team person, or our broker. How the company kind of works too is um, having agents is a good thing, basically, for the company. And because I'm actually an ALC member, so I'm the agent leadership council. One of our jobs is to recruit for the company, right? To kind of grow the Keller Williams franchise itself. So I'm always looking for agents as well. So I don't really turn them down, but for you guys, don't even worry about that. You're hunting for seller leads, right? And then if you come across buyer leads, awesome. Sometimes your sellers turn into buyers. That's great. Get the double side. But if it's truly an agent, though, just be polite and courteous and get off the phone as soon as possible. Make note of it.
Classify them as agents,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Right.
when we have the proper training or how we need to do the approach, we know where to find them.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
So you can either two ways you can approach that, Diego. You could ask them a couple more questions and see if they like their brokerage, and then pass that on to Jen to say, hey, this was an agent, but might be a good candidate